Any chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
It's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's possible.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah.
Canelo, choose one, please.
Guys, we gotta go. We don't.
Can you elaborate on why Crawford is better than Mayweather? Just a little bit of detail.
Oh, he can switch. He's very smart guy.
Terence "Bud" Crawford, widely regarded as the top pound-for-pound fighter, has made his position unmistakable by directly calling out Floyd Mayweather and stating he is ready to put his perfect record on the line. At this peak stage of his career, Crawford has no desire for a show match and is only interested in a real, competitive fight that carries true meaning.
You are better than Floyd Mayweather.
I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
When you heard that, what did you think?
I just was like, well, you know, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was at the best, you know, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, you know, I don't know.
Speculation about a fight between Terence Crawford and Floyd "Money" Mayweather began with one rumor, centered on a condition that could push Mayweather to risk what he values even more than wealth, his flawless legacy. Everything changed on the night Crawford faced Saul Canelo Alvarez, a moment that felt like the payoff to years of waiting and setbacks. For a long time, Crawford carried the reputation of being the most avoided fighter in boxing, and this fight marked the turning point where his patience, persistence, and ambition finally came together on the biggest stage.
I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out. From Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not. Kovalev
was older. He does. Don't get me wrong. He does have a lot of power, but all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is not there.
So how do you see a fight with Canelo?
A tough fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always have respect for Canelo, but I just believe in my skills. The fact that people doubt me, it just fueled me even more. Try to get the fight even more. And I'm watching them, I'm like, man, I can beat this dude. I've been fighting people bigger than me all my life, and I always came out on top. You gonna get hit. It's a fight. He gonna get hit.
The road was so difficult and draining that he later admitted he was just one step away from quitting boxing completely. And if the legacy-defining showdown with Errol Spence had never materialized, he likely would have walked away from the sport.
It happened. If not, then, you know, it'd just be one of those fights that go down in history that didn't happen. You know, it's numerous of fights that didn't happen. Do I want the fight? Absolutely, yes. Have I tried to make the fight? Absolutely, yes. Do I want the fight after this fight? Absolutely, yes. Like, of course, you know, but if it doesn't happen, then it's out of my power. I can't, you know, make the man fight. I can't make the man, you know, go against, you know, what he stands for with his team and all that. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'm going to continue to do what I do.
How was this particular weight cut? Was it a very difficult one, or did you feel at ease with the weight cut?
I mean, it's always difficult, but, you know, like I said, I don't make any excuses.
At last, on the biggest stage of all, he silenced every doubt by dominating Canelo and making history as the first male boxer in the four-belt era to become undisputed in 3 different weight divisions.
Guys, no one has ever been a 4-division champion in boxing. Not a real one. Oh, Pacquiao won 8 and Oscar De La Hoya won 11 and this one won 15. No, I'm talking about Ring Magazine champ or lineal champ. You are the champion of that division.
Get them all.
Forever, the record was 3 by Henry Armstrong. Manny Pacquiao was the first dude to really win 4. Floyd gets credit for 4 for beating Canelo, but that wasn't at the junior middleweight limit. I don't count that. I don't count that. Terence Crawford just joined Manny Pacquiao as the only legit 4-division champion in the history of boxing. And he did it by jumping middle. He came lightweight, junior welter, then he won a belt at junior middle, not the whole championship, and then skipped middle to fight Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed, for the Ring Magazine super middleweight championship of the world, and left no doubts. including with Canelo, who was all class after the fight, but
The win firmly established Bud as the pound-for-pound #1, but the biggest surprise came after the fight ended, when respectful and humble Canelo Alvarez, who had faced both legendary fighters, stepped up at the post-fight press conference and made a statement that stunned everyone.
Lastly, for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than
He later went on to explain just how difficult Crawford was to face, openly describing the enormous challenge he brought into the ring.
No, we knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed or power, or what? Was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything. You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body...
Floyd Mayweather's legacy was built on his unmatched ability to land punches while avoiding damage, but his identity goes beyond statistics, resting on a carefully shaped image as TBE, the fighter he proudly calls the best ever.
Floyd says TBE, the best ever. He's told me, I'm not even talking about in the ring. Someone else can have that. He's talking about playing the whole game. Then you have an argument. Playing the business side of it, not getting hit, getting out undefeated, making...
For a man driven by such a massive ego, Canelo's remarks raise a real question. How does he see Crawford accomplish what he never did by becoming a 3-division undisputed champion without feeling even the slightest sense of pride or being challenged?
Sure.
But I can see the money getting crazy after that.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you'll see reports. You mentioned $100 million for Floyd. The reports are 130. First off, he's never gotten $100 million for a fight. Not even remotely close. But there's reports of 130. Wow. There's reports online that Floyd's a billionaire. There's reports that he was the highest paid athlete in this year and over Cristiano Ronaldo.
You think it's bullshit?
I know it is. And there's public companies they do business with. HBO would be one of them. Find an executive to back the claim. It's never happened and it won't be.
When there's a percentage split between Floyd and Pacquiao, I'll just say this. On the Monday after the fight, we wired him in advance, and the advance was $100 million. Someone comes to me with a 9-figure check and says, we need your signature in order to release this.
Wow.
And that's when it set in. It's like, wow.
This is the same fighter whose career was questioned by analysts like Max Kellerman for carefully choosing his opponents after moving past the lightweight division, leaving many to wonder whether it was simple caution or the calculated brilliance of a master protecting his empire, a debate that now feels more relevant than ever.
Floyd did it in 4, but he had a weight stipulation where Canelo couldn't weigh in as a full junior middleweight. I don't count that. That's not a junior middleweight. That's 3 for Floyd.
What do you have to say to that?
I had one fight, and the fight wasn't actually at a catch weight. It was at a catch weight, but it wasn't my idea. Canelo at one particular time thought I was scared of him, that I was afraid. So he said, Floyd don't want to fight me. I'm willing to meet him at 152 pounds or 152 and a half. And me, I called his bluff and said, if you want to do it, let's do it at 152. But after Canelo made the weight, it wasn't like it was a certain clause to where he couldn't gain weight. So after he weighed 152 or 152 and a half, I think he came in like 168 or close to 170.
And actually, I came in at probably like I probably came
in an unexpected turn. That same strategic thinker made a surprising move by backing the man seen as his biggest threat, as Floyd quietly placed a $50,000 bet on Crawford to beat Canelo and walked away with a $124,000 payout.
Placed a bet, won a lot of money. Congratulations. What are your thoughts? What was your reaction to the fight, Floyd, as you watched Bud and Canelo in there on Saturday?
Oh, it's good for boxing. It was exciting. The best man won.
Is Canelo washed up now at 35 years old?
Oh, I don't know. Boxing is a lot of wear and tear on the body.
It felt like a typical smart business move, but it still made fans question whether it was just about money or if he truly saw something in Crawford that threatened his legacy. And after Canelo's remarks, the boxing world quickly exploded into heated debates with strong opinions coming from every direction.
Believe Crawford, even though, fought twice, throughout the year, Crawford, was...
But look who he beat.
Undisputed.
Look who he beat. Look who he beat. What he did to Spence and how he did it. That's 3 fights to me. And it took 4 fights out of Spence, right? I'm a fighter, so I can tell you when you get punished like that.
Yeah, I was there ringside watching the fight.
It takes a few
it was
years
different.
out of you. Don't see the years right now, but it sort of takes something out of that person going forward. They still can beat some fights, but it really put a bruise on them. You didn't see Spence fight yet, did you?
No.
Did you hear him name opponent from the potentially fight? It's been quiet. You see the weight he gets.
Bud's performance last week, man. What do you think of Bud's performance last week?
Man, great. Bud always been like that. But I request South. You know what I'm saying?
You think there's anything left for him, coach, or is it time for Bud to move on? Or
I'm trying to figure out who he gonna fight next.
160, you can see him probably going to 160.
I wouldn't up crazy. He looking excellent.
The idea of a prime Crawford facing a prime Mayweather has split both experts and fans, and the more closely you analyze it, the more layered the matchup becomes, because while Floyd Mayweather was elite, he did show small signs of trouble against fast southpaws like Zab Judah early on, and Crawford is far more than that, a ruthless switch hitter who can change stances, adjust on the fly, and present a much more dangerous and flexible threat.
Fight his whole career, people like Erislandy Lara gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. People like Floyd Mayweather also gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. But Bud is more fierce, more fearsome, and more angrier, and more meaner than both of those guys. So if they showed you the blueprint, Bud gonna go out there, take that blueprint, and do even more with it, which is what Bud did. So it was never a question in my mind whether Bud really was going to outbox me, just if he could take the punch. And right away he showed, bam, he could take the punch. So I know from that point, if he just slowed him down, which he did, he'd be okay. Then late in the fight, what other people still didn't see, late in the fight, Bud started hitting Canelo's body. One of those body shots, I think about the 7th or 8th round, hurt Canelo. I was like, whoa. Bud hit him in the right spot then, and he got Canelo's respect with that too. So Bud fought a very, very awesome fight, fought a beautiful fight, very tactical.
Very controlled.
Yes, it was a beautiful fight for boxing.
It was a beautiful fight. Bud got hit with some shots.
He did.
He got hit with some single shots going out. He's going out and Canelo, if he has you trapped in the corner or along the ropes, it's typically 1 to 2 big shots. You know that if you've watched him.
Yep.
So you could tell Crawford, as he was going out, he knew the one shot was coming, and several times it landed. He even got hit with a 2-piece. I don't remember what round it was, uppercut right hand that Crawford took well. So when you started seeing him absorb the shots, if you're Team Crawford, you don't want him to take that shot. But if you started seeing that, now you know that, okay. And I think that's what gave Crawford the green light to stay there a little bit long.
He smiled about it.
Yeah. And sometimes that smile can be a lie. And sometimes that smile can mean what I think it meant for Crawford, which is, that's not as...
This creates the foundation for a compelling battle of ring intelligence, where Mayweather's brilliance comes from his ability to control every moment, manage risk with precision, and slowly draw opponents into a tight defensive trap they struggle to break free from.
Power, have you been hit by anybody that strong before?
I've been hit harder.
No, in a real fight, not a sparring.
In a real fight. Mean Machine hit harder than Canelo.
Crawford's brilliance is ruthless and adaptable, as he often uses the early rounds to read his opponent, pick up on every habit and weakness, and then methodically break them down step by step as the fight unfolds.
Yeah, I'm leaning Bud.
Yeah. He's slick, man. Yeah. He's slick. He's super intelligent. He sets traps. He does stuff. And then, there's a bunch of great breakdown videos of particularly the Errol Spence fight, like him setting traps. It's just, he's a very high level guy, but Canelo is dangerous. He broke Billy Joe Saunders' whole face. Broke his whole face. What he did to Amir Khan, remember that shit?
Yeah.
Oh, lordy. And never been down. Never been dropped.
Yeah, Canelo's a stud.
Yeah, Terence.
Yeah. Canelo, I may be the only one. I thought you won the fight. I scored it for you.
We need to accept it.
We need to accept it. No matter what, in the scorecard, we lost it.
Well, you're the best. You're the number one fighter in the world.
Thank you.
I think keep shining. You're the champion.
Many have wondered whether Crawford's sharp, adaptable mind could solve a Mayweather puzzle that no one else ever could, and when asked directly, Crawford responded with calm confidence, while Floyd's uncle Jeff Mayweather firmly insists that Floyd's defense and ring experience still stand on a completely higher level.
That time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw, and then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. And he had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people.
How are you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
But want to
make himself look like he did.
The harsh condition being discussed isn't a hidden contract trick, but a straightforward demand that directly challenges the foundation of Floyd Mayweather's post-retirement image. And its seriousness becomes clear when you remember the rumored Mayweather versus Roy Jones Jr. idea, where Jones insisted on a real, officially sanctioned professional fight instead of an exhibition, which is the same tough requirement hanging over a possible Crawford matchup, because it would drag Mayweather out of the safe exhibition space and into a true fight, risking his prized 50-0 record that supports his claim as the greatest of all time.
I was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
You talk the talk and you sure walk the walk. Your confidence and aura is on another level. Could we see a run as a light heavyweight?
Nah. We ain't gonna.
Stepping away from professional boxing in 2017, Mayweather has limited himself to high-paying exhibition bouts, taking on opponents that have included YouTubers and mixed martial arts fighters rather than active elite boxers.
What is MP Promotions, Netflix, Al Heyman, everybody.
Turns out he can't read just like Floyd.
Oh, MVP.
These tightly controlled appearances have helped preserve his flawless record, and by insisting on an officially sanctioned bout, Crawford would be asking Mayweather to put his entire legacy on the line against an unbeaten, undisputed force at the peak of his powers. But even if such a ruthless condition were set, the question remains who could realistically cover the massive price tag needed to make a fight like that a reality.
They take place too late, like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. They fought too late. I mean, if that fight could have been arranged by Riyadh Season, they probably would have caught them both in their prime, and it would have been chaos.
Yeah, Manny was done before that. It was
and he also had a blown shoulder going into the fight. Yeah, he needed shoulder surgery before the fight.
The answer comes from the changing power structure of modern boxing, as the sport has entered an era where once unthinkable fights are suddenly possible, driven by deep-pocketed power players like Turki Al-Sheikh in Saudi Arabia, who are tearing down old promotional barriers and delivering massive purses at record speed, while streaming giants such as Netflix and Amazon Prime are aggressively chasing global blockbuster events, making a Mayweather versus Crawford showdown a subscriber magnet. Capable of reaching millions worldwide, and with money now flowing from both sovereign wealth funds and streaming platforms, an offer could be built so enormous and tempting that even Floyd Mayweather would have to listen, especially considering neither man's journey was easy, as both careers were shaped by conflict, including years when Crawford's toughest battle wasn't in the ring but against his own promoter Top Rank, a bitter split from Bob Arum that ended in a lawsuit where Crawford made explosive claims of racial bias and accused the company of holding him back from the superstardom and mega fights he believed he deserved.
It's made already. Bob couldn't secure me the Spence fight when I was with him. So how you gonna secure me the Spence fight when I'm not with him? So, I'm moving forward with my career right now, and I wish everybody the best.
It was a lonely and bitter fight played out through headlines and legal battles, painting Crawford as a champion isolated while pushing back against boxing's powerful system, while on the other side, Floyd Mayweather's biggest win, his record-breaking fight with Manny Pacquiao, still carries controversy for some critics due to the intravenous treatment he received before the bout to rehydrate, which, although later approved retroactively and cleared of banned substances, left a lingering sense of doubt among fans who believed it crossed the spirit, if not the strict wording, of anti-doping rules.
I don't like boastful people. How was it like fighting Mayweather then? Did he get on your nerves? Because I feel like he's a little bit more boastful than the people you might be wanting to hang out with.
Yeah, he's boastful. I think his God is the material things, money, everything like that. I'm pretty with him because I want to share the word of God in him if he believe God.
Yeah, I've heard he's a generous man. I think he's done good things. I think, he kind of reminds me of like a lot of people are like this, by the way, including myself. I'm not just saying him. I'm including myself. The man who goes up to Jesus and says, "What should I do to get into heaven?" He says, "Sell all your belongings," and he walked away crying.
For both fighters, their flawless records hide years of struggle, with one battling for chances he felt were taken from him and the other constantly answering doubts about the legitimacy of his greatest victory. And if the money were ever put together, the fight would come down to legacy alone, because for Terence Crawford it wouldn't just be about another 9-figure payday, but about final proof, beating Mayweather in a way that ends all arguments and firmly locks his place among the true all-time greats.
Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT, greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches, not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists. Everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
For Mayweather, the danger is real because a loss wouldn't simply mark his record. It would destroy the carefully built image of invincibility he crafted over more than 20 years, especially against a fighter like Crawford whose strengths go far beyond physical talent. As former champion Sean Porter pointed out when he said Crawford didn't just beat Canelo, he mentally broke him by draining his confidence and resolve. And with the relentless mindset his trainer describes as that dog. Crawford brings a psychological pressure that never fades, making the idea of Mayweather's defensive brilliance colliding with Crawford's switch-hitting versatility and mental warfare the ultimate style clash. And while fans keep asking if it will ever happen, the contrast is clear. Crawford as the unstoppable force with power in both hands and an iron will, and Mayweather as the immovable object, the finest defensive fighter of his era, and in a time when impossible fights suddenly feel realistic. Maybe the idea alone, the debate, the fantasy, and the brutal stakes involved are enough to make this a legendary matchup that boxing fans will always wonder about.